Welcome to S2 TV. I'm Dr. Tiff, and today we're going to start a series in the kitchen. So it's really important that we continue to offer our clients ideas that they can feel good about what they're eating, but they can also have some stuff that they love. So we're going to make a variety of things, and hopefully every week we can offer you guys some new ideas. And we want things that are good for your family and that are fun. And so today we're going to make pizzas. Who doesn't love pizza, right? But when you order it out, you just never can control the amount of fat, the amount of cheese, the good lean protein choices. So Stu and I have really found that these are a great way to make pizzas at home and to have a healthy option. So our favorites are these Mama Mary's. Now obviously I don't know what grocery store you guys are shopping at outside of the Nashville area, but we find these at Publix. They're typically in the produce section near the deli with the other flatbreads and things like that. But this is the thin and crispy. They make them in a full size as well. But this is really great because you get 3 in a package, so anybody can kind of make their own pizza at home, different toppings. And if you have just one person, it's really nice because you can just use one of the crusts and have the rest to save, and you don't waste anything. So thin and crispy, 3 in the package. Macro breakdown: if you eat this whole pizza, you're looking at 40 carbs and 7 grams of fat. So if you need to cut it in half based on what you had for the rest of your day, or if you can eat 2, you know, Stu could probably have 2 of these given his numbers that he in his budget for his macros. So just make sure you look at the food label, log it in ahead. But that's the crust. I've got these Greenwise Italian sausages. Again, I got these at Publix. They're chicken sausages. So 1 link, which is about 3.2 grams, or excuse me, 3.2 ounces, is 4 grams of fat. So pretty lean protein option. You don't have to use this. You could do a lean ground beef. You could do a chicken, you could do shrimp, you know, anything you want, but these is a really great flavor, and you get that sausage sensation that a lot of people love on their pizza. Turkey pepperoni, so if you wanted to double up on your meat, this is another really good option, a lot leaner than regular pepperoni. 17 slices, so 4 grams of fat. That's a lot of pepperoni, as you'll see when we build our pizza. So another really great protein option there. I've got some veggies. I like red peppers, mushrooms, spinach. You can really throw whatever veggies you want on there. Just make sure you weigh them out so that you can put them on your crust when you cook it up. And then for a cheese product, I use this Sargento reduced fat 4 cheese blend. So typically mozzarella, just in the whole milk form, has about 7 grams of fat. So this has 4.5 grams of fat. So you're saving some fats, which allows you, again, to have more room for your protein choices in terms of fats. And 1/4 of a cup is a serving. So we've already got all this measured out for us here. But that's really the rundown. And then in terms of sauce, the canned sauces can really kill your carbs because they have so much added sugar in there, one for shelf life and flavoring. So I get these fire roasted canned tomatoes, and I doctor them up with a little basil, salt, pepper, oregano, so you can kind of doctor it up, and you can use 1/2 cup of this. It's only got 4 carbs in it. So again, depending on what you're trying to hit for your numbers and what your budget is, you can make some different choices to allow you to have more variety in what you're putting on your pizza. So I've already got everything weighed and measured out here. So again, I really am careful with measuring cups. I try anytime I can to use a food scale. So I've already weighed this out. 28 grams is 1/4 of a cup. So guys, we just weighed out our cheese, and I just want to show you too about your protein. I want to make sure that we're weighing our protein using a food scale. So again, I'm using these chicken sausages, the Greenwise chicken sausages that they sell here at Publix. And I got my food scale. I want to make sure that's on and zeroed out. Put it on the ounce setting for your meat. Go ahead and get that on there. 3.3 ounces. So the packaging, 1 serving is 3.2 ounces, so we don't have to be quite that anal. I think we'll be okay. So we know exactly how much protein. We got 18 grams of protein in a link, 4 grams of fat, so, and no carbs. Most protein, animal protein, doesn't have carbs in it, chicken, steak, all that good stuff. So you're looking at protein and fat here. I like to take the casing off when I'm doing pizzas because I want it more like a ground sausage. So when you do that, just be careful, right? I just use a real sharp knife, just slice right down the middle of it, okay, and that casing will just pull right off. So you can take the casing off, and I'm not going to take it all the way off, but you can see that. So you're really getting rid of more of the fat because the casing is fat. So you can actually probably assume it may be even a little less fat than that. So we'll look at that more when we cook it. So again, we've got veggies, we've got cheese, we've got our crust, and we've got our tomato sauce. I like to throw everything in one skillet in terms of the veggies and the meat and just cook it all up so then I don't have to have raw veggies because these crusts are already cooked. So the crust cooks pretty quickly. So if I have everything hot and cooked a little bit, especially got to cook the meat all the way through, then when I build my pizza, when I cook it, it stays hot because everything's already a little bit cooked. So we're going to shift gears. We're going to go over to the stove and just start cooking things up. So we'll see you back in a minute. Alright guys, so now we're actually going to start doing a little cooking. I always use an olive oil cooking spray. I know that there's better quality oils and things out there that don't have all the chemicals in it, but I just really like to have a lower fat cooking process. You could certainly use a little bit of olive oil in your pan or canola oil, some kind of blend. Okay, but I'm just going to use a little cooking spray. Just coat it nice and thick. Got my burner on medium. And again, I took the casing off of that sausage, and because I'm just cooking for one person, I just got to put the full sausage in there. I want to make sure we brown it all the way through. These are not cooked. You can find already cooked sausages and things, but we're using raw here. Okay, so I'm going to let that cook down, turn it up a little bit. I'm going to throw my veggies and everything in with it. Okay, so I've got... This is 58 grams of peppers. You can weigh out as much as you want. Just make sure you weigh it out. And I like mushrooms on mine too, so I'm going to just throw some mushrooms in here. Okay. Again, depending on how meticulous we're trying to be, you might want to measure out your mushrooms and things. Typically, veggies other than real starchy veggies like corn or butternut squash, sweet potatoes, things like that are really going to add up on the carbs. I don't weigh cucumbers and celery and onions and such because it just doesn't add a lot to the meal there. So I'm going to let this cook down. I'm just going to get a little fork out of here. Just kind of start to get that sausage crumbled up a bit. Alright. So we'll let this simmer. As soon as it's done, we're going to build our pizza. So we'll see you back in a second. Alright guys, we're back. We got our cooked sausage. It smells really good in here, by the way. Cooked sausage, peppers, mushrooms. So we're going to just take this over and drain it off on a little paper towel. Just get a little of that excess grease off of it. It's already really lean, so you certainly don't have to do that. But I'm going to go ahead and drain it for a minute, and then we'll start building our pizza. So I've got a paper towel and a little paper plate here. Just drain it off. I just kind of pat it out a little. Let it sit. Alright, so I've got my crust here on my little pizza pan. Our oven is already preheated to 425. If you get a different kind of crust, just look at the package and make sure you got the right cooking instructions. I like to sprinkle a little Parmesan on the crust just to give it a little bit of flavor. It's pretty plain otherwise. So again, I'm in a very minimal amount, so we're not adding any kind of fats there. And then I've got my tomato sauce. I always put it right down on the base there. So that's a half cup, and I'm just going to kind of move it around here, get it all good and spread out. You could drain the tomatoes. I like a lot more sauce, so I just leave it as is. And then I got my toppings. I just kind of spread that out. Again, if you want to add pepperoni, this is the time to do it. I'm just going to roll with the sausage tonight. Okay, but look at that. That's a pizza. We haven't even put the cheese on yet. Alright, so got my cheese here. Get that going over the top. Spread it out. You can throw a little basil, oregano, salt, pepper. Now again, the sausage is pretty salty already. So, but if you're doing chicken breast or ground beef that's not seasoned, you want to make sure you season that. I just make sure I get everything off the pan. Again, our oven's already preheated, so we're just going to pop it in there. I put it on the rack first without a pan, so it gets a little crispier on the bottom, and then about halfway through the cooking process, I put the pan underneath it so it doesn't burn. That's just the way that I've found that these particular crusts cook better. So on the rack at first, and then watch it about halfway through, I put the pan underneath it. So we're going to pop in the oven, we'll see you back when it's done. We are back, guys. Our pizza is done, and look how good this looks. I mean, that's a good homemade pizza, and look how much toppings we got on there. So it is done. It is nice and crispy. Again, I'm eating the whole pizza because I have the room and the budget. So I've cut it up. Obviously, if you're eating the whole thing, you don't have to. I'm just going to plate her up here. Uh-oh. I'm not as skilled as I thought I was. Look at that. I am not going to bed hungry tonight, guys. That looks great. Lean chicken sausage, a little bit of mozzarella and Parmesan, mushrooms, and those thin and crispy crusts. So I hope you'll try that at home. It's really easy and it's really great. Thanks.